is obviously a very popular uh, offer from employers. It's a recruitment tool. It's a uh, employee satisfaction tool. It has become almost an essential for employers to offer. And we'll just talk a little bit about where we are now in 2024. Again, so employees want this. I mean, they like the ability to access their wages at the very beginning, whenever they want to. Uh, Businesses post COVID we're using it as a recruitment tool and as a retention tool to keep people and to attract new employees. It's almost become expected amongst most employees. And if you do not offer it almost becomes a detractor as opposed to something that is new and innovative that people see as something that oh, this is unique and this company has a tremendous advantage. The truth is if you're not offering it now, you're actually a little bit behind the rest of the employment world. Key concerns, of course, is there are a couple of different models out there. There's the B2B model, where the employer actually engages in an agreement with an earned wage access company, and they work directly through the company's payroll. And the other is a third party, and those are becoming very popular, and they're out there no matter what. They're independent, they're phone apps, and people use them to access wages. Those are built on estimated wage information. They're not connected to the employer at all, and they kind of present different issues. The question is, so is earned wage access just another iteration of payday loans? How costly is it? How much of a burden is it to the employee? How much risk is there? And as a result, the state and federal agencies out there are looking at legislative efforts to control those risks for employees. That's what we talked about, the two business models of B2B and third party. B2B have significant players that have done a really good job of providing this service at low risk, and most of their revenue comes from the access to pay cards. So when an employee uses that card, that money, the money the company makes providing that service comes not from the employee, but from the credit card companies and the business relationships that they have. Third-party options, so typically are subscription models and have fees per transaction and those kinds of things. So the B2B model, big companies like Dollar Tree, Kroger, Hilton, McDonald's, Target, Uber, Walmart, all of them now offer early access to paychecks. The primary players, Branch, Daily Pay, PayActive, those are the companies that are at the top of the food chain in the B2B world. And again, these are viewed as win-win circumstances from companies because there aren't any fees to them either. These companies make their money through either accelerated transaction fees or through the use of pay cards. So it provides this service and provides the access. The other thing is it has full transparency in the B2B model in that that information comes directly from the payroll of these companies, and the resolution of the money that was garnered early comes straight out of paychecks. It's deducted before the employee gets their paycheck. It comes directly through that, and the exact amounts are known to everybody. So it uses that payroll timesheets and taxes to track the actual pay that an employee has accrued. And so there's no guessing whether or not that person is going to put in enough hours or not put in enough hours or whatever. It is actually tied to the payroll, and the employees have fewer fees. And there's always an option to have it for free. The only types of fees that come in the B2B model are those that typically there's a 1-day waiting period, or if it's a Saturday, you may not get the money till Monday, that kind of thing. If you need that money right now, this instant, there may be a fee. There may be a couple of dollars in order to accelerate that money and get that available to the employee immediately. So if you look at it, the government has looked at these, and there's been a number of studies out there that have been done by major universities. This was a Harvard University paper, and it says that 28% of the users that are who tend to be lower earning hourly and subprime borrowers said that they turn to alternative financing services like payday loans a lot less frequently once they had earned wage access. And we all know that the costs of those payday loans can be hundreds of percent annually. I mean, it gets pretty scary, 300%, 400% annual type interest. And, it's just a very treacherous way to borrow money and to gain access. And having this available to those hourly employees is a great benefit to them if it's used appropriately. There can be fees, like I said, to access that money immediately, that kind of thing. So maybe $2 if you need it that day. If you want it instantly, it can actually cost $10 in order to get the money within an hour. But most people, if they use it reasonably, there are no fees. You can get that money the next day, and it's in your account, and it's just kind of normal course. Most B2B companies, again, make their money through the free debit cards, and that money comes through the interchange companies, just like any other credit card. When you purchase something at a restaurant or at a gas station or wherever, that business, that company that you're spending money with, pays 3% or 4% to the credit card company as a normal course of business. That's where these B2B guys make their money. They make their money from that interchange activity, not through fees or through subscriptions. Third-party providers, we've all seen them on TV. A lot of commercials being run right now. The third-party providers are provided directly to an employee through phone apps, typically, and these apps are probably the primary concern that state and federal agencies have, because many of them have monthly subscription fees. They have per transaction fees, so anytime you take money out, you pay a fee. And because it's not being settled through your payroll, through a business's payroll, the money is deducted automatically out of the employee's checking account on payday. There's a potential for overdraft fees, because if they've already spent that money and the money's gone, or they didn't earn enough to pay for it, you could actually get overdraft fees at the bank because there's no protection there. The other problem with third-party providers is that some people have 3 or 4 or 5 of these providers all at the same time. So they're not getting just one payday advance, they're getting 3 or 4 or 5 different payday advances on 5 different apps. And obviously the danger in that is you're just overspending and you don't have money and it's not transparent and you have fees and all of a sudden your paycheck is gone. Total fees and subscriptions and stuff, again, can run up to 300% from the surveys and study information from the government. So it can be up to 300% for earned wage access users on these third-party applications, depending on how soon they want the money and what kind of fees they have up front. And again, you're still in danger of overdraft fees and stuff if you can't cover the deduction on payday directly from your checking account. So the question is earned wage access just another payday loan? What's strange again in this Harvard study, 40% of the people with employer-sponsored earned wage access use the service maybe once a week. And more than 75% of that money is actually used for regular bills instead of emergency expenses. And liquidity issues become a question of that. But if you have a bill that's due on Tuesday and you don't get paid till Friday, you save late fees, you save other things. It actually can be a real benefit to employees to be able to use that. The other thing is that what they find is that employees that have this availability don't go out and get payday loans, don't go out and go to pawn shops and things like that. They use this instead of other much more costly methods of short-term finance. Most of the users of earned wage access are people who make less than $50,000 a year, and that's according to the federal government. High fees and user dependency, that's the tough side of earned wage access business, and that's where the decision comes to offer, whether it's a B2B or whether you leave it to your employees to go out there and find their own applications. And the consumer risks are generally much greater on the third-party side than they are on the B2B side. Essentially, the statement that is kind of come to be understood is that the B2B option, where the employer is actually working directly with the earned wage access company, things are being handled directly from payroll, there's that transparency and all that. That's more like an ATM service. In some cases there's a small fee, but it really is, you just go get your money and that's what it is. And unfortunately, the third party side tends to feel more like a payday loan, because with subscription fees and per transaction fees and all of that, it can get it can become very, very expensive money. And again, the lack of transparency and the fact that it's on estimated wages, not on actual wages, again, leads the world to potential problems with overdrafts and additional fees. So I think it's pretty easy to say that the B2B model is a much cleaner, much more transparent option. Earned wage access legislation, it's all over the place. Because of the dangers of these third-party providers, states are getting involved very quickly. Nevada was the first one here just a while ago. Missouri came in right behind that. Arizona, Florida, Hawaii, Kentucky have already introduced bills. And look, the federal government's going to get involved. At some point, it will be better regulated. But right now, states and the federal agencies are looking to protect employees. They're looking to protect those people who are out there earning the wage, providing an environment where they can get this early access without the heavy risks and the terrible fees and that frustration that can come with that. So our final recommendation, I should let you know, I'm with Aatrix Software. My name's Bruce, and I'll give you some information here in a second. You can get a hold of me anytime you want. We don't offer earned wage access. It's not part of our business model at all. But from the research that I've done, and if you go out there and research it yourself, what you're going to find is that the B2B model is truly a reasonable way to go. It's a little more involved for employers because they do have to, provide access to payroll information and that kind of thing. But it's a much better option for businesses to offer that directly to their employees, so that there's that transparency. They know exactly how much people are borrowing. You can set limits. You can do all of those things. It's a much better option. The third-party providers, you can't stop them. I mean, you can't stop your employees, even if you're offering a B2B solution to your employees. They can still go out and purchase an app. They can still go out and work with some of these other companies. But obviously, I would think that during the course of offering this to your employees, you would also offer some education and say, yes, there are other things out there. We really recommend you don't use them. These third-party guys can get very expensive, and they're a risky alternative. So that's me. Here I am. Bruce, you can get a hold of me at bruces@aatrix.com if you have any questions. Again, I would just research it and get to an expert. Talk to some of the B2B guys. They have really solid information, and they can give you what you need to know about how it impacts your business and what the risks are. And it's a great alternative. It truly is something, what you almost have to have in your bag. You kind of have to have it, especially with the lower wage earners. You have to kind of have that available now, because the world is out there offering it. And if you do it through your company and it's safer and it works for them, it increases loyalty, and it gives you the opportunity to impress your employees that you have concern for their well-being and want to make life as easy as you can for them. So that's what I would look at. It's not much of an option anymore. In some form or another, your employees are going to find earned wage access. They're either going to go out and get a third-party app, or they're going to use what you offer. And I think it's much safer for everybody in the world out there if employers take on that responsibility and offer earned wage access in a controlled environment that has zero or very low fees, and makes that money available a few days early for employees. So thank you for taking a couple of minutes and spending some time with us. Check us out on YouTube. There's a pile of different issues that we cover, and this is the one we had for this month. We'll have another one next month. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook and all of those X and Facebook and LinkedIn and whatever, and we'll give you an announcement of what we're going to cover next month and when that will be available to you. Thank you again. I enjoyed it. Have a good day.